Dark. It's dark outside. It's dark in here. Not much light. Rainy day in Florida. Hey everybody. Um, well, sorry about that lighting here. Kind of creepy, but it's rainy in Florida as usual. Um, Same time every day usually. Um, Anyways, my day off, and I figure I'll go ahead and do my genre file film, which is science fiction. This week is the topic, and I picked a 1972 TV movie because I was kind of at a loss of what to find, and I went on Amazon Prime, which I have, and which I know it's not physical media, but sometimes you can find oddball movies and shows and stuff like that on there um, to watch that you never seen before or haven't seen in a long time. And I came across a Leonard Nimoy movie called Baffled, which I watched maybe 35 years ago on late night TV back in the 80s. Um, I've seen bits and pieces of it before. They were showing reruns, but anyways, that was the film. It's considered a sci-fi thriller film, and what makes it a sci-fi film is that Leonard Nimoy in Baffled has ESP. That's right, he has ESP, and he can see people getting killed in this. He can see into the future, so he doesn't know he has this gift. Um, it happens to him while he's driving. He's actually a race car driver, and he driving in a race. He's in the middle of a race, and then he starts having these visions, and then he of two women. One's a girl. One's an older woman. And then screaming, and then he crashes. Then he goes onto a TV show and he talks about his experiences, and a lady named Michelle Brent, who is an ESP expert, um, sees him on TV in this interview and contacts him about his experiences. And she's played by Susan Hampshire. It's basically a all English cast. It was filmed in England, and it was a TV pilot for a show that was going to be starring Leonard Nimoy that just never took off. The story was interesting enough that, at least the beginning of it, the little bit I told you there that he was a race car driver. It was actually kind of hard to believe that Leonard Nimoy is a race car driver. Seeing him as Spock for so many years on Star Trek and watching the Star Trek movies that came afterwards. So you really never seen Leonard Nimoy. I haven't, anyways, in anything else but that. Even though I did see this back in the 80s, and really wasn't into Star Trek at the time. So what happens now? Get back to the story. Is that this woman, Michelle Brent, she talks to him, and he has more visions, and he contacts her again because he kind of blows it off. It's like nothing, he didn't think nothing of it, and then he had another vision while he was looking out the window, and he gets all wet of him falling off a cliff and into the water, and he survives. And then when he comes to, after that experience, he's in the living room fully clothed, all soaking wet. So he can't explain it, what happened. So he contacts Michelle, and then he was talking about the house, the mansion, which was, I remember Devon. It was part of the house, but the name, it was in Devon, England. But anyways, So they decide to go there because of the visions, because there's something tied to them visions there. He sees something. The other subplot to this is Vera Miles is in the film as well. She plays an American actress named Andrea Glenn, and her daughter Jennifer, was played by Jewel Blanche, are vacationing there at this mansion, and they come there because her ex-husband set up a holiday for him, and they were expecting him there, and he wasn't there. He never showed up, but he only made reservations for two, and that was be for her daughter and herself. So they thought it was strange. So they wanted to go on a quest to find where he's at, and they said, well, there's this lady named Mrs. Sanford who might know. So they go into town to find her, and she turns out to be a big fan of Andrea's and has pictures of her on the wall from film stills and posters and such like that. Anyways, and letters from their father as well. But she doesn't know where he's at. So that's the mystery there. They don't know where he disappeared to. He set this all up and he's not there. So later on in the film, Jennifer finds her dad. One night she goes out and he's talking to her and kind of puts her in a trance, like he belongs to an occult. And that's where this whole thing goes to, that it's an occult, and that they're going to use Jennifer to be part of this wolf thing. And then it just goes crazy afterwards. My whole thoughts on this film is that it is a TV movie, so it's not a theatrical release. So most TV movies have a different feel to it, look. But this one was I don't know. Leonard Nimoy didn't feel like he should have been in this TV movie. He just kind of walked through it. The acting wasn't that great. The only acting that stood out to me was Vera Miles and Susan Hampshire, who played Michelle, the ESP expert. She did a really good job. But Leonard Nimoy, I was kind of surprised. He just, I don't know. He didn't seem like he liked being in this movie, or he just didn't take it seriously enough. And so I didn't have a good time with this film as I thought I would. I mean, it was interesting to watch, but I thought it would have been a lot better. Especially, Leonard Nimoy's acting in the Star Trek films. I know in the TV series they were corny, whatever, but to an extent. But yeah, this film baffled me pretty much, and I can see why it didn't work as a premise for it, whereas it got signed on for a season for a TV series, because it just didn't work. The film was directed by Philip Leacock, who's done several television films in the past, and TV shows, and feature films. Would I recommend this? Unless you're a fan of Leonard Nimoy or like early 70s TV movies, I wouldn't recommend it to watch. I mean, like I said, it's an alright film, but the acting in it just didn't do it for me. At least on Leonard Nimoy's, I was kind of surprised. Plus, I didn't buy into the premise that he was a race car driver. That was kind of funny. That part of it. Matter of fact, the one scene on his helmet, he has his last name is Kovac, and on there it could have been dirt or anything like that, but you see it in several scenes where in the beginning where it has Kocack, Cossack, and then you'll see Kovac on it. Anyways, my thoughts on this film. Check it out on Amazon Prime if you like. If you're interested, you like Leonard Nimoy, or you like early 70s TV movie type things, which I do. I have a nostalgia for them. But this is not a film I would recommend. Thank you for my listening to my rambling, and thanks to some of the new subscribers that I have. I promise in the future I will do better, and make better videos. So, but thank you. Bye.